get comfortable. Get comfortable here. We got a lot to talk about from the TGIF. Grab yourself a beverage. We made it. Another week in the bag. Who's here? All right. Welcome to TGIF, people. Bruce Lively here. Thank Ganja it's Friday, and what a week we've had. But even more than just a week, we haven't been here for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago since you saw us last. We're back. Let me turn up this volume. And maybe you've noticed we have a brand new little setup. Hopefully you like how it looks. Unfortunately, on this setup, I don't have any what do you call it? I cannot see your messages. I cannot see them. So, Laura, the intelligent, the beautiful, the well-informed Laura Malcolm, my co-host, will be responding to all of the messages and, of course, interrupting where needed. If you have questions of me, I'm still here. I'm still talking to you. I just can't see it on my new setup because we're professional now, people. We're professional. Look at this. No background. All you see is the pictures of me and Laura. A nice little picture of the thumbnail that you clicked on to get here, as well as merch right there. At the bottom of
Very
it.
slick.
Very
slick.
I mean, I tried. We're getting professional now. We got over 2,000 subscribers, and I figured it's time to stop dicking around. So, here we are, and we got a lot to talk about. People.
Oh, we sure do.
Oh my God. How are you? Let's start with that. How are you?
Oh boy. Well, I'm generally all right. I had a nice visit with a friend of mine. That's the first time he's visited since I moved here. That was my reason. My letter to the principal, note to the principal while I was absent. How about you?
That's why you failed us. You failed us because a friend showed up. How dare you take time in your own life for your own mental health? What do you think this is?
It's almost like a job or something. I don't know.
Oh, man, I'm so glad to have you back. I'm glad you had fun.
Glad to be back. Nice to see you, too.
Nice to see you. So you guys may have seen a live I did. We went in on quite a few things. It was such a busy week. But before that, we had the debate. And people, let me tell you, we're gonna try to streamline this because there's so much to talk about. But ever since that debate, where Donald Trump got mollywopped, beat down, destroyed, mangled, taken to the shed by Kamala Harris, these Republicans have lost their ever-loving minds. I don't know how else to say it except for the fact that if you thought it was crazy before, because it's been crazy. It's been 8 years of crazy since the Tangerine tornado first swooped down the golden escalator into a crowd that he paid for to be there. It's been crazy. But after he was exposed, where the gloves were off, and Kamala Harris just lightly laughed at him for an hour and a half while he bungled his way through nonsense, non-answers, and racism to the utmost. They have been losing everything. As a matter of fact, let me tell you why all hell has broken out. I'll let Laura tell you. Laura, tell us what happened after this debate. Give us some numbers so that the people in the comment section who's been saying things like, well, all the polls said he won. What did we
No,
have? What's the truth about
as
it?
of today, she's in a, let's see, I'm looking at the Real Clear polling, latest polls. She's in the spread ahead by 2 in the national. Let's see. Yeah, that's as of today.
Out by 2. And
Harris 48, Trump 46. And over on the, let's see, I have another poll here. 270 to win has Harris ahead by an average of 2.8. And then they break it down by the states if you want to, but in the overall, she's ahead by about 2 points at this point.
and the reason why that's so big, people, is because nationally, when it was Joe Biden, he had not reached even equilibrium with Trump in the entire campaign. Since Kamala has come on, all she's done is rise and rise and rise. And now nationally, she's up by 2. I saw some say 4, some were like at 6, but we're gonna go by the most recent and the most notable and reliable. Plus 2 point something is a lot. These are raises of like 15 points in the past few months. So they're pulling their hair out, people. The Republican Party is pulling their hair out and they're jumping up and down. Unfortunately, they have nothing to run on, Laura. They have nothing to run on. So
The
so
poor dogs and the poor cats.
so you end
Won't
up with
somebody
dogs
save them?
and cats. You end up with lies and ridiculousness as a way to keep the fear going because they have nothing to run on. The man said in the debate, the orange orangutan said out of his own mouth, "I have a concept of a plan." It was ridiculous. The, the lady asked
Who's
him.
that?
She said, "So let me just say to get this straight. 9 years later, you still don't have a plan for Obamacare." Well, I have a concept of a plan. Well, damn, I have a
We'll hear about it in the
I
very
ha,
near future.
I have a concept of a car that I've been wanting to make since I was 8 years old. I still have it a drawing on my wall. I love it. I have a concept of a car, and it actually has wings. It actually can go to outer space. It's a dual craft. It's a dual vehicle, both aero and spatial. I just haven't been able to put it together yet, but I have the concept. Um, Listen, luckily for us, if you're watching this, how many people are there watching, Laura? Who's on there talking? We're
Well,
gonna get to
tonight
this.
we got Gloria Marie. She's been waiting for hours and hours for
We
us to
love you,
show up.
Gloria.
We love you, Gloria. And Macaroni
We love you,
is
Mac.
here. And we got a few others hanging out. Haven't spoken yet, but all are welcome.
All right, everybody's welcome. Let's get to number one.
Make
You
sure you
see,
hit that thumbs up too.
yes, hit that like button. Subscribe.
Get our algos going. Come on now, you can do it.
You can
And
do it.
subscribe. There's Benny Loco. She's always lurking somewhere.
We
Benny
believe
Loco
in
is
you.
everywhere.
And for those of you who are new, we're talking about old fans. These people have been around for a while, so become one with us, man. It's a community here. We believe in you. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. I'm gonna get to this. So after all hell broke loose because of those exact polls that Laura just told you, because after the debate, everybody who has a brain and isn't being paid by Sir Vladimir Putin also, when they ran polls, she won. In the aftermath of the beatdown, Republicans have been digging themselves ditches wider than the Grand Canyon in an attempt to not look broken. But thank goodness, we won't even get to the dogs and cats yet. Thank goodness that there are people like Jasmine Crockett to push them right into the hole that they're digging for themselves. I want you guys to see this. This is amazing.
Jasmine,
we're going to start on a good note.
She's a national treasure.
A
I love her.
daggone national treasure. Okay? Would somebody get the movie rights? National Treasure 3 starring Jasmine Goddog Crockett. Listen to how she dismantles and humiliates these Project 2025 writers, okay, who from the Heritage Foundation. Their whole goal is to try to act like they don't know who Trump is. They've never seen him. They don't know who he is. And the mere fact that we're even having these hearings about foolishness in order to not get things passed in the Congress is bad enough. But Jasmine Crockett pushed them over the edge. You guys, watch this. You're going to love it. Check this out. We'll come back on the other side here.
I'm Alan Spears with Occupy Democrats, and in some incredible breaking news, Representative Jasmine Crockett completely turned the tables on MAGA Republicans in today's House Oversight Committee hearing. Take a look.
So much. You know what? This hearing is actually the best example of what waste, fraud, and abuse looks like, because the only reason we're having this hearing is because somebody got their feelings hurt in a debate, and I don't understand why we're wasting taxpayer dollars. Next time, tell your big boy to show up and be ready to handle the woman in the room who hopefully will become the next president of the United States. Nevertheless, why...
Can we stop it right there? She said the only reason why we're here is because your big boy couldn't put on his big boy pants and handle the woman in the room, came unprepared. Can we just start with the fact that we're no longer being cordial? We're no longer being cordial in Congress. Like, we're dealing with people who are QAnon followers. Thank God for Jasmine Crockett to bring it down to the level where she sees we're playing at now. We're no longer going high while they go low. They're going low, we kick them in the balls. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. If you're a fan
And laugh about it.
And laugh about it. Tee-hee, ha-ha. Okay? She's about to get some really important, serious stuff, so let's get to that. But if you're a fan of making sure that people who stay low in the gutters get kicked in the balls instead of going high, put a blue heart in that comment section for me. All right, let's listen.
We do have two amazing authors from Project 2025, which it seems like everybody got the memo. Like, yes, I'm going to double down and say it's my thing, but I'm going to make sure I also say that it ain't our homeboys thing, because we know that it doesn't poll very well with the American people, because the American people are woke enough to recognize that there is nothing good in it for them. So with that being said, Ms. Perryman, I'm just curious, and this is yes or no. Is Trump's name ever mentioned in Project 2025? Yes or no? Just yes or no. I got you.
Just yes or no, please.
Okay. 5 times.
I haven't counted.
Oh, okay. Well, if I told you that his name is mentioned approximately 312 times, would you have any reason to dispute that?
I don't have any reason.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's interesting that we want to try to pretend. We're not going to pretend in here. We're going to work with facts and not fiction. So I also want to talk about inflation really quickly with you, Ms. Perryman, because we've talked about it a lot. I'm just curious to know, is the inflation that we just struggled through, was that global or was that limited to the United States?
Global.
Global. Seemingly, it was attached to this thing called the global pandemic. Is that correct?
That is my understanding.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just the United States.
No.
Okay, so it wasn't just a matter of the Biden-Harris administration in the United States is struggling, right?
I think the United States actually fared better than the rest of the world.
Oh, yeah. In fact, we are, correct?
I think so, yeah.
All right, but inflation still hurts, and so that's why we have a candidate that has an actual plan instead of concepts of a plan. or as I like to say, Trump only has offered concepts of constitutionality mixed with coordinations of a coup. But nevertheless, we're gonna move on. I want to talk about the internet really quickly because
concepts of constitutionality with what was the rest of that? The concept of a constitutionality.
Hold on.
With
Let's bring it back.
With coordinations of a coup. But nevertheless, we're gonna move on. Concepts of constitutionality mixed with coordinations of a coup. But
Blue Heart, if you think Donald Trump has concepts of constitutionality mixed with coordinations of a coup. Listen, people, Jasmine Crockett is a godsend. She broke this person down. And the way that the lady was laughing, Laura, I don't even know if she was one of the writers or was one of the people that the Democrats brought in, because she was acting like she knew the joke. she got it. Okay. Oh, this is beautiful. People, okay, the Avengers timeline we're living in now. This woman is the daggone Iron Woman. Let's just go over a couple things, because this is important. If you guys get this or hear this from anybody, well, let me see. Hopefully, I think I'm getting an echo. You guys let me know. If you
Mighty Moskowitz is pretty darn sharp too.
Oh yeah,
gotta give him cred.
We didn't even get to him. Maybe at the end we'll pull him out too. Listen, what she said was so important. Number one, every time from now on, when you hear Donald Trump say, or any one of his sycophants say, or any one of the ants that follow behind him as the queen in his dirt castle, when they say, well, he doesn't have anything to do with it, he doesn't know anything about it, he's never read it, the only thing you can believe about that statement is that he's never read it. That's a fact. But the fact that he knows exactly what it is, who made it, because his vice president that he chose wrote the foreword to it, JV Team Vance, the fact that his name is mentioned over 312 times in the document lets you know that whether he has read it or not, it's about him, it's for him, and it's by him. It's not about us, for us, and by us, like the government is supposed to run.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so we're here to help you at the water fountain at work on Monday. The next bum that tells you anything about that, remind her that his name is mentioned 300 times. The second point that she brought up, very important. For some reason, we've got all the Russian bots and trolls in our comment section telling us that inflation is so bad and so high because Biden. They stopped the oil, which they didn't. We're energy independent for the first time in a very long time. We're way more energy independent than we were under Trump. Now, inflation is global, she asked her, and the lady said yes. Jasmine Crockett brought it down like she always does to the simplest terms. Is inflation global or is it national? She said it's global. She said, how bad is it everywhere else? Well, it turns out America has fared the best in the world with inflation. That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. That doesn't mean that eggs don't cost too much. What it does mean is that it costs more everywhere else on Earth. So whatever it is that they're telling you, when they tell you that for some reason he's mishandled the economy, it's a lie. We're doing better than everywhere else on Earth. And that's as admitted by the person who wrote the plan to destroy everything that we have now under the auspices of it being bad. Does that make sense to you, Laura?
It sure does. And don't forget the price gougers and so on, that which Kamala has fought and will continue to fight.
Yes. And that's
Bastards.
it turns out that Kamala doesn't have a concept of a plan. She has an actual plan to fight
She has.
price gouging to help inflation. Because the fact that it's already the best in the world, but doesn't mean that you don't need help, she's come up with another way to help even more. Stop the price gougers. What a plan. What a plan. Let's continue.
Nevertheless, we're going to move on. I want to talk about the internet really quickly because we wanted to talk about the internet. Actually, let me talk about the border real fast, and then we can talk about Texas in this way. I'd ask for unanimous consent to admit this article from The Hill that says Trump says, blame it on me if border bill fails.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you so much. Now I'm going to move on to the internet, and I'm actually going to talk about Texas because I believe that the testimony has been somewhere around the fact that no money has actually been disputed as it relates to rural broadband. I'd also ask for unanimous consent to admit this article from the USDA.gov. USDA officials attend groundbreaking to expand high-speed internet access in rural Texas, dated March 7th, 2024, Italy, Texas.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you so much.
With respect, that was not the testimony.
Oh, I thought you said no dollars had been spent.
The largest single program.
My question is, did you not say
$42 billion.
Okay.
0 houses have been connected. There are other federal programs, including Trump-era ones, that right now are turning dirt and connecting.
Okay, so just to be clear, because I don't want the American people to be confused, because I was confused, because it almost seemed as if, considering the fact the name of this hearing is the failed policies, as if nothing had been done. But to clarify for those that are watching, you aren't saying that no dollars have been spent as it relates to rural broadband dollars under the Infrastructure Act, correct?
To be clear, for the signature effort, $42
Yes or
billion,
no? Have any dollars been spent?
not a
$1.
single person has been connected. That's
Not my question though. My question was, have any
issues. Senator Ted Cruz from
Okay,
Texas
I'm
put out
gonna
a
move on.
report
I'm gonna
that
move on.
showed that
I'm reclaiming my time at this point.
many of these
I'm
bills, it's
reclaiming my time, which means, Chairman, I'm gonna
$100,000
ask
per
you to
location.
stop my time because the witness is not.
Are you asking him a question, or are you?
No, I'm
reclaiming
not
your
asking
time?
him a question. I reclaim my time.
All right. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett.
Okay, now I need my. I was at 41, y'all. So go back up.
We'll give you 9 more seconds.
Okay, thank you so much. Here's the deal. You've testified a lot about the problem with the broadband rollout being diversity, equity, and inclusion. You said DEI, I don't know how many times, which is one of the issues that Project 2025 takes issue with. But it's interesting to me because I have another article from the Texas Tribune, and it actually specifically states that internet providers say they are simultaneously hopeful and skeptical about whether the incoming federal dollars will be enough to connect the most underserved Texans. Historically, other federal rural broadband funding programs have seen limited success because many companies who committed to providing broadband went into default after radically underestimating their cost. It doesn't say anything about diversity. And the final thing that I will say is that this election, I didn't ask you a question. The final thing that I will say is that this election is the best example of why y'all are so afraid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because then you can't have a simple-minded, underqualified white man somehow end up ascending. Instead, you've got to pay attention to the qualified black woman that is on the other side. And with that, I will yield.
Yield.
You go ahead and yield, girl. Yield. Right on that. Oh my God.
And then yield.
Oh my God. People, good and decent people of YouTube, if that doesn't warm your heart, if that doesn't tickle your fancy, I don't know what will. I don't know what will. It's time for someone to stop the lies. You see, as the Republicans were digging graves of cats and dogs and Nazis, because they have no policies that will help anything that they're talking about.
And even their concepts suck.
Even their... Where's the monkey? I need the monkey, Laura. Where's the monkey? Do you have the monkey? You don't have it with you?
Of course I have the monkey.
Oh, clap for that. We need the monkey. Because this is what they think you are, people. The concepts are horrible. And the truth is, DEI is what they are saying for everything, because like woke, it has no definitive meaning to them. It just means too many black people are involved. That's it. If we didn't hire any black people, we'd have broadband by now. That's what that means. They have no idea what the words actually mean or how it's implemented. Right? And this brings us to our next point. The truth is, this is just who they are. No matter how much they try to make up words like woke and demonize DEI and act like Trump isn't a part of 2025, the people who are intelligent, like you people who are watching this today, already know that there's no amount of makeup thick enough for the pig that is the Republican Party. This is who they are. It's never been about you.
Yep.
It's never been about you. It's always been about making an excuse to keep power. And here's the problem. Exhibit A. Allow me to give you Exhibit A. It's a pig. And for some reason, everybody else figures it out, except for the people who wanted to keep that power.
The GOP has devolved into little more than a hate
Here we
cult.
go.
And of
Check
course,
this
all
out.
of this is a drop in the bucket for somebody like Mark Robinson, who is a political party. The GOP has devolved into little more than a hate cult.
Here we go. Oh, this is the pig that they're trying to
In
put
an
makeup
absolute
on.
bombshell story just released by CNN, Mark Robinson, the Republican gubernatorial nominee in North Carolina, was revealed to have made a series of inflammatory comments on a pornography website's message board more than a decade ago, in which he referred to himself as a black Nazi and expressed support for reinstating slavery. According to reporting, he also said he enjoyed watching transgender pornography and has referred to himself as a perv. CNN was able to verify that the username behind which those comments were made did indeed belong to Robinson and occurred on a pornography website called Nude Africa. He reportedly listed his full name on his profile for Nude Africa, as well as an email address that he used on numerous websites across the internet for decades. CNN put together a chart, as I'm showing here, showing all of the other social media platforms on which Robinson used the same username as well. His private positions on transgender pornography, for example, stand in stark contrast to his public stances. For instance, he's argued that people should use bathrooms only that correspond to the gender they were assigned at birth. He's also said that transgender women should be arrested for using women's restrooms. The article also goes into greater detail. I'm not going to read it aloud because the video will get flagged, but I will put up a small sampling on this screen to show the kinds of things that Mark Robinson wrote on the message boards. As you can see, they discuss Nazis, slavery, and so much more, each sentence more reprehensible than the last. The stuff that you're looking at right now should not only end somebody's political career, but would be disqualifying in any facet of life, in any job, in any social setting, anywhere. The fact that this guy is still on the ballot for Republican.
I'll tell you. Don't worry. I'll tell you. Good and decent people of YouTube. One of the stories said that he would type on his porn site because nobody chats in a porn site. That's not what you're there for. If you're chatting on a porn site, that means you've been there too often and you think it's like a family. You guys are chatting to us and connecting with us on a platform that's meant for that. Anybody you see chatting and leaving messages on the porn site is way too familiar. That's number one. Anyway, on that site, he mentions things like this. He once looked down wherever this area was in the drainage of some facility where he could peep and see women showering. And he got a sexual thrill from peeing in the hole as they were showering.
God damn, what's the...
This is the guy who says women shouldn't vote.
Look,
This is
I
the
don't
guy
kink
who
shame
says that
often, but that's pretty bad.
It's I started
That's more
with the
than a
bad.
kink.
I started with the bad, and I'm going to only get worse. This is the guy. He number one. If you like golden showers, that's not a bad thing. What he likes to do is take advantage and do things without consent. That's what gave him the sexual thrill. Peeing on women while they weren't knowing about it, when they were in the shower. That's what made him feel good. Taking advantage of people who he could. Taking advantage of the weaker, of the lesser. You know how we know that as well? Well, he's the same guy who walked into a church and said that people just need killing. Some people just need killing.
Bingo. I was just about to say that.
You know why? Because every single one of those people he was talking about, transgender people who should going to the wrong bathrooms, bad teachers who are sexualizing children, are all things that he mentioned he loves. He loves to watch transgender porn. In his own words, on Nude Africa, he says that transgender porn is so good because you take out the man while still putting in the man. This is the guy who Republicans have been putting their faith in. This is the lieutenant governor of North Carolina. He's not just a candidate for governor. You've already been elected as lieutenant governor of North Carolina. Because, YouTube, he's the only black man that will say Martin Luther King was a commie. And all of the white folks in North Carolina that felt really good about their racism because the darky believes it too, voted for him, even though everyone else on earth could see the red flags. Everyone else on earth could see how disgusting he was. Right now, they're telling him to leave. They're saying there's a big outcry amongst Republicans that he has to leave. Why? You got exactly what you paid for. You got exactly what you wanted. Now you have to bring it to the 9-month fruition. You don't get to kill it now, Republicans. Huh? You got to birth that shit. You have to birth that turd. We all saw that he was disgusting, horrible, flagrantly racist, and now he calls himself a black Nazi. The reason why he thinks people need killing is because he hates himself. He's grown up in a way that told him all of his sexual fantasies were bad, disgusting, and he was going to go to hell for it. And so what he did was take advantage of every little piece of disgusting filth he could and then make up for it by yelling the loudest, by feeling like he's not the sinner anymore, by disgracing and stomping and putting his foot on other people who live their life happily, because inside he doesn't believe he's worth the life that he's been given. Unfortunately for him, unfortunately for all of us, the degraded, disgusting, backwards, inhumane, ungodly, evil people of North Carolina Republican Party looked past every red flag that everyone else saw in 2 seconds of footage since he's been out, in order to get a black man to make them feel good about their racism. And that disgusting lineage has now birthed the turd that they have inseminated into their party. And now they are going to act like he needs to drop out. This is just too much. It wasn't too much when he said people need killing. It wasn't too much when he said women shouldn't vote. It wasn't too much when he denigrated the black leader, the greatest black leader that this country has ever had, and called him a commie, and said that Martin Luther King didn't do anything for black people, as if he would be lieutenant governor now if that wasn't the case. It wasn't enough then. When he portrayed Nazi attributes, disgusting, sexual reasoning, and racist, overt racist rants and taking away rights of people that wasn't enough. Trump called him Martin Luther King on steroids. Yeah. Here's the problem.
See,
Go ahead.
That's the was in the back of my mind, because both Robinson, he said worse than calling him a commie, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But
we can't
so
say
this
it
guy
on here
that's
we still
called
want to have a
yeah,
channel.
this guy that's called Martin Luther King all this awful stuff, then they turn around and praise him as MLK, but it's for their own purposes. He's the anti-MLK, right?
He's the anti-MLK. And
they need to cherish him.
Here's what then Trump says they need to cherish him. I'm not even going to show you all those clips because we don't have enough time to go through the sewer and the sewage that these people have left behind. That's why we started with Jasmine Crockett, so we could have a boost to deal with what we're going to be dealing with. And it's not all bad. We got good stuff at the end, but really quick, the reason why Trump says he's MLK on steroids is because that's the only black person Trump knows. Everybody, he's a fat black guy. Oh, well, he's like MLK. Oh man, look at my black Trump supporter over there. You're an object to him. Women, black people, and all the black people, the under 50 who supposedly are 20% voting for Trump, which I doubt, because anybody who's black and says they're voting for Trump is really not a voter. They're just talking shit on a email or a voice line, because they don't care enough to actually do anything. I doubt they'll be voting. But for the people out there, the grifters, the black grifters out there, you too are a turd stain on the brief of this country. I can say that. Every single thing that you do, when you say things like, I'm voting for Trump, who thinks that this guy is Martin Luther King just because he's black and he has a mouth and he talks, is the same thing that North Carolina did. Overlook all of the red flags, the disgusting red flags that should irk you, that should keep you up at night, in order to feel like you're an independent thinker. In order to feel like your racism isn't that bad, the darky also said it. Your religion isn't that bad. Look, he got on a pulpit and said people should be killed. So I can't be that bad when I think it all day, every day. Exhibit B. He's done worse. He said slavery should come back. To Exhibit B. His words, I'm a black Nazi. Slavery is not that bad. I would certainly buy a few. You would be sold, bum. That's the problem. He's convinced himself that he's a white person because he thinks white people are better than black people. It's called white supremacy. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. He's lived in a place where he's been taught to hate himself and the people around him, and instead of changing the economic circumstances, the educational circumstances with which they live, he's decided to hate on them and pee on them in drainages and peepholes, and consider himself one of the good ones. That's why he thinks he'll be able to buy a few, because he doesn't get it. He said, I take Hitler over any of the shit that's in Washington right now. I bet you would. I bet you would. This is exactly what they voted for. This is exactly what they wanted. This is exactly what let them sleep good at night. This is exactly what made them feel better when they said that Obama was not an American. Or they wrote in the newspaper, Obama in crosshairs. This made them feel better because, look, one of the good ones also agrees with us. I don't want to go any more into that. Now you know. This guy hates himself. He's grown up to hate himself. Both his color, because he's lived in a racist place for so long that he's internalized it, that he hates black people and thinks he's one of the good ones, and his sexuality, because he's grown up with a religion that has told him he's going to hell for everything he thinks, for all of his devious thoughts. And he also has more devious thoughts than anybody else who's not a Christian that I know of, period. And I'm a Christian. I'm a good one, too. This is the grossness that you birth when you start walking in the sewage and making excuses for indecency like Donald Trump. Okay, so Jasmine Crockett called them out, and we're talking about the lipstick on a pig, and there's no makeup thick enough for the pig that is the Republican Party. Exhibit B. I'm gonna get past this commercial here. Was that enough, Laura? Do you think they get it now in North Carolina? How many people are still going to vote for him? That's the question.
Macaroni in chat is North Carolinian, and he seems to feel it. He was going to lose anyway, but right, Mac said Robinson and his wife also ran a daycare that could not pass inspection. No heat, no lights in some rooms, kids unsupervised. They had an oven on and open oven was on to help heat the building. Oh,
and according,
yeah,
wow,
dirt.
Wow, there he is. That's the guy. That's the one they wanted. He is your lieutenant governor, North Carolina. Aren't you proud? Your pig party is disgusting, and I'm not sugarcoating it anymore. Anybody who both sides this is lying to you for money or access, because they want to still be able to talk to Mark Robinson.
Oh, yes, Gloria's also in North Carolina.
You guys have a chance. You guys know what you need to do and how you need to vote, and all the way down the ticket needs to be blue. From president to governor to lieutenant governor to the senators to the House. That's the only way we change this and scrub this nation from this filth that has become the Republican Party. This is who they are. Exhibit B.
to your website, you're also, I'm going to quote here, a longtime Democratic Party activist who served as a member of the 2016 Democratic National Convention's platform stand.
So old and boring. Let me give you the backup. What's happening here is Senator, what is his name? John Kennedy. Senator Kennedy here is talking to someone who is an Arab American, one of the Arab American societies trying to promote peace and togetherness in our society. And he's about to do exactly what she is here to stop. Look at this absolute turd in the House. Look at how he talks to an Arab American who's trying to promote peace and unity.
Standing committee, close quote. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for America's favorite game show. How long does it take a Republican to get racist?
You support Hamas, do you not?
And time! GOP Senator John Kennedy takes home the gold with a record 30 seconds into his remarks. Good timing, too. We all know he would have said some offhand comment about coloring if he'd received bronze. But this hearing of the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee, known for its greatest hits like these...
Do you know what we're here for?
You know we're here about.
You know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Broke down into its most racist and despicable showing of Republican leadership yet, or rather, lack thereof. Because Senator John Kennedy launched ad hominem attacks against a prominent Arab American community advocate, Maya Berry. And as if the irony couldn't get any more apparent than it does in the following exchange, the hearing was about hate crimes in the US. And I'm not at all saying that what Kennedy did here qualifies as a hate crime, but as we'll see with the very last attack he lobs in this heated exchange, it gets pretty damn close.
You support Hamas, do you not?
So drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you love these videos calling out Republicans and their blatant racism, and let's get on with the show.
Senator, oddly enough, I'm going to say thank you for that question because it demonstrates the purpose of our hearing today in a very
Let's start
effective
first
way.
with a yes or no.
Hamas is a foreign terrorist organization that I do not support, but you asking the executive director of the Arab American Institute that question very much puts the focus on the issue of hate in our country.
Well, I got your answer.
Yeah, people. You heard that right. The executive director of the Arab American, what is it again? Let's hear it again. Let me make sure.
On the issue of hate.
Start first with a yes or no.
Hamas is a foreign terrorist organization that I do not support, but you asking the executive director of the Arab American Institute that question very much puts the focus on the issue of.
That's your Republican Party. That's the reality. You see, because you can't go back far enough and find his hate on a porn site, you're going to allow this. You'll clap for it. This is your party. This is your party, and you're not fooling anybody. More and more people are waking up. They're finally seeing that it's easy to be brainwashed when you're poor. They tell you that someone else did it to you. Their hate, if you just hate this person, we'll get you back your power, your place in society. But people are realizing, one by one, as a black Indian woman is showing them on national TV, the person that they worshipped, the avatar for their hate and disgust, just like the porn site and the comments, is simply an exposition of the rot that they've kept in their hearts and in their party for way too long. That's the truth. That's John Kennedy. He's been there forever, just as racist the whole time. This is the party. That's why they're failing. This leads us to this, Laura. The shit stain they've decided to leave on America, called the Trump campaign for presidency, said the whole pet eating and the lies because he had no policies. And in return, we found this. Check it out.
While we are there, they become our friends. When they come here, they become family. And so we will do anything we can to help.
Can you see anything on there, Laura?
How many crimes?
Is it showing the pictures? I mean, the video?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, guys. This is for you. I want you to know we're going to talk about Ohio and Springfield and the whole cat and dog eating fiasco, the other racist thing, because when you flail because you have no answers and you have concepts of plans that are horrible, you go for the first thing you know how to do. Let's race bait. Did you know the black people were eating your pets? But did you know this?
Disgusting, backwards people that he chose to put on his team. And they knew it was a lie. Check this.
This whole thing about the cats and the migrants in Springfield, Ohio, the whole raison d'etre of J.B. Vance's stochastic terrorist attack on the residents of his own state, this has now been revealed to originate from two lies. The first lie was from the woman who posted to Facebook about somebody's friends, neighbors, aunts, uncles, condoms, salesmen seeing somebody eat a cat. The woman's name was Erica Lee. She has at least expressed remorse. Vance's campaign knew this was not true. It had called the Springfield City Hall on the 9th of this month and was told by people there that it was not true, and that did not stop them. It didn't even slow them down.
Did you hear that, Laura?
They had to power
You
through
too?
and double down, especially since he got laughed at for it. And they fact-checked him for it.
Well,
now he's got to make sure to make a thing of it.
You said it best.
Make it happen. Make it so. Go out there, Vivek. Go out there, Shady. And I'm coming eventually. And
I hope he doesn't, but listen, I don't think that they'll give him the security that he deserves when he gets there. Listen, people, I wonder if you heard that correctly, YouTube. They called the City Hall when they first got these reports, and City Hall told them it's not true. And they said it anyway. This was before the debate. They put it out anyway. Not only were they, you could say, well, they were so stupid and racist, they believe every racist thing they hear, but no, they lied and have now destroyed a community that he's the senator for, J.D. Vance is. Bomb threats, schools closing down, full wings of entire hospitals closing down. Money moving out of places where it used to go into new places because the people who started businesses there, those same Haitian immigrants, legal Haitian immigrants, started businesses and were working in companies that would only come there if the Haitians were there. And now, what I hope to all hell happens is every other blue state calls up and drops leaflets out the sky and invites all of those Haitians to come work for their IT companies and to come work for their small businesses, so that this racist town can be turned back into the meth lab that it used to be, into the broken streets, into the forgotten town that it used to be. The Haitians came there and saved the town. But the Nazis that were there started the rumor. And then old Mrs. What's-Her-Face, who found her cat later in her basement, decided to post about it because it's funny. Tee-hee, we love that stuff. All they've had is their skin and meth in that town. And the minute that it turned black, they thought that they lost the worst of it. Backwards as they are. And if all of those Haitians leave and all those businesses leave, it's a problem. That's why the mayor of the state, of the county, of the city is saying, please stop this foolishness. We just got it together. We just rose this town from the dead thanks to the Haitians that we requested. And you were going to destroy it for us. And now they're doubling down. Eating the pets and eating the dogs and the cats wasn't enough for J.D. Vance. Look at this. I'll read it to you. Well, let me see what the video does. I'm not sure if it'll play.
what are you doing, Fergus?
The American media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to, create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because you guys are completely
Yeah, he already talked about creating stories, but we don't need that to know because we just found out that they called the city hall and the city hall told told him straight up that it wasn't true. Here's the second part that they doubled down on. These evil, gross representations of America, the embarrassment of America, known as the Republican Party, who they've chosen 3 times in a row to be their head. J.D. Vance says the nominees spent last week repeatedly posting on X, formerly known as Twitter, that the Haitian immigrants in Springfield are causing, including HIV and tuberculosis. Sound familiar? Hitler did that. Sound familiar? Reagan said that. There's been no measurable or discernible increase in disease, according to Bruce Vanderhoff, director of the State Department of Health. The agency website publishes data on a myriad of infections and vaccine-preventable diseases in the state and also does not depict any noticeable rise. The only disease that has risen in Ohio is the communicable disease of stupidity. Become a Republican. Okay? The abject, unqualified buffoon they're forced to worship in order to get the evil, racist, diseased, filthy, rotten policies that they want out of this country, because only a disease-spreading, mouth-breathing, self-obsessed, mentally deficient actor/celebrity has just the right combination of emotional defects and popularity to bring those policies to fruition. Voila, we have Trump, the human transaction, the human super spreader event for the stupidity disease. Exhibit A.
There's a rhythm in the markets, in the resonant echoes of the opening bell, in the preludes leading to global elections, in the rising...
The fake news likes to say, oh, he was rambling. No, that's not rambling. That's genius when you can connect the dots. Check that one out. Think about this. Between Bagram, between you go to Anwar.
As we speak, Donald Trump is in the middle of a disastrous town hall campaign event in Flint, Michigan, in which his staggering cognitive decline is on full display in sight, and I wanted to bring you some of these clips so we could discuss them in real time.
Stupidity, people.
Now, this first one is less of an indictment of Trump himself as it is the cult that he has created, and protection so that children can go work.
Hold on. This is important.
Can go work. Huckabee Sanders, the woman moderating the debate, the current Republican governor of Arkansas, who, by the way, her only claim to fame is rolling back child labor protection so that children can go work, rather than, in contrast to somebody like, say, Governor Walz, who chooses to feed children. Sarah Huckabee Sanders wants to make sure that they can work and die in factories at an earlier age.
You didn't know that, Laura? I saw your face. You didn't know that she was a freaking governor all of a sudden? Out of nowhere?
No, I thought I heard him saying that she was a moderator for the debate. What debate?
It was a town hall, but he said it wrong.
Yeah.
So this is a town hall, and moderated by the person who lowered the age for kids to vote, took away their rights from the state to mandate how old you have to be, and gave it back to the parents. So if you're poor and you're desperate, you can send your kid to the factory. They don't need to go to school. That's what she's done. Because she's Christian, because she's decent, because they voted wisely. Is that what you think? Or is it because she has an R by her name and she has convinced the people who vote for her that all of the wrong things that they need to hate are the things that are going to help them, while she steals from their pockets and sells their kids to corporations in the front room? That's what's happening to the party. That's what's happening to the party. Corruption is everywhere, but this is debauchery. They've convinced enough stupid black people and racist white people to believe that hating someone else for something the lowest, who has no control over them, the people with the least amount of money and power in the country, is somehow going to get them right, while the people with the most amount of power steal their kids and sell them to corporations. But look at this stupidity. Look at the idiot in a red tie.
So let's start with this clip, and then we'll get into Donald Trump's rapid, staggering cognitive decline.
Not once, but twice. You've literally taken a bullet for our country.
Jesus.
And yet you keep fighting.
Don't say it, Laura. We don't want to get don't say it. I know it. Don't say it. We don't want to get taken off. We just started this.
The reason that you're going to win in November is because America needs a fighter. And
listen to the crowd cheer.
We've never needed a fighter more, and we've never had somebody more qualified to step in and lead our country than you.
Yeah, that's...
Laura, I can't. You say this next part. What do you think about that? We've never had anyone more qualified, a fighter more qualified to lead this country than Donald the Apprentice Trump. Huh? What do you think?
Oh, it's... Do I have to answer that?
No.
All I can do is cringe.
That's enough.
And hold back the bile that's rising in my throat. It's just, please give us a.
I'll give you one more. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, she set him up perfectly to to start doing what he's going to do next, which is.
Here we go.
A big dump.
Here we go.
Just absolute staggering cognitive decline.
Having so much money coming out of the energy, we just have the best. We have Bagram in Alaska. They say it might be as big, might be bigger than all of Saudi Arabia.
Huh?
So he's referring to ANWR, ANWR. It's an acronym. It's pronounced ANWR. It stands for Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. And not Bagram. He said Bagram, which was a closed air base in Afghanistan, right?
All right. Do we need more? You see, the thing is,
she was the plug that was up his bum until it was pulled, and then he took a shit. Anyway.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
You're exactly 100. She plugged it, and then he let it all out. Listen, people, I have another one here. I'm not even going to show you. He spoke at a Jewish event and talked about and whined about how the Jews didn't support him enough and how he was the absolute best thing for Israel. The Jewish American event. Because, of course, all you guys think alike, don't you? Huh? All of you guys are the same, aren't you? He's a racist. He spoke for an hour about how he's been good for Israel and how American Jews have turned on him and they're stupid for doing so. And if he loses the election, his word, he believes it'll be the Jews' fault. At a Jewish event. He's a super spreader.
And it wasn't well, there were two events, I think. One of them was an anti-Semitism event.
Really?
And the other, yeah.
People, I don't even want to show you that one. We're already late. But this is who we have. This is what this guy actually did, what he actually said. All right, the one I have was him in Washington saying that to the Jewish leadership convention or whatever it was, blaming them for his loss that he's about to have, and saying that the only reason why Jews in America need to vote for him is because of what he does in Israel, implying that their loyalty is not to America where they live and own citizenship. Their loyalty is to people over there. Sound familiar? Hitler did it. Hitler said it. Mussolini said it, not about the Jews, but about immigrants. You're looking at a rise of fascism because of the super spreader event named Donald Trump and his campaign spreading the stupidity disease. And when people are lapping it up and drinking the filth and becoming diseased by it, in order to turn away from it means that they have to turn away from everything that they've already consumed, and that they would now be looked at so stupidly. They would have to see themselves as an idiot. That's why they can't turn away. That's why they clap when he says Bagwar or whatever, Bagrin, when he means Anwar. He doesn't know anything. Okay? So, the only thing we have left to do, people, the only thing we have left to do, after being exposed by a competent, well-prepared, intelligent woman who crushed Donald Trump's soul on television and hopefully has broken some of the hypnosis, thanks to the polls that we've been talking about, of a percentage of the followers of Trump. He goes back to cheating. We go back to voting. Take a look at this and make sure you keep this on your radar. Vote early. Vote early. In person if you can. Mail in if you have to. Mail in, no problem. Make sure you do it early because this is what they're reduced to. The catch didn't work. Saying that immigrants spread disease isn't working except for the towns that meth is involved in. And it's going to go back to the shithole, the shithole city that it was.
Adventure.
Not the shithole country of Haiti. Haiti went in there and fixed the shithole city.
I know it's you.
With delicious, easy recipes from HelloFresh.
And
An
now
elections group
it's gonna go
representing officials from both parties in all 50 states is expressing worry that the post office under Trump-appointed Postmaster General Louis DeJoy will not be able to handle the upcoming election. Now, this is very serious. Now, the National Association of State Elections Directors sent a letter to DeJoy expressing concerns about the USPS's ability to deliver mail-in ballots in order to comply with several new restrictions that were put in place by Republicans. So, these restrictions, yeah, kind of concerning with what's been going on with the post office as of late. Now, the letter notes that over the last year, they've made numerous inquiries about the slow processing at facilities, the training of workers, as well as lost mail. The group says they've made repeated complaints to senior post office officials, but, quote, we have not seen improvements or concerted efforts to remediate our concerns. The group notes that there are specific policies on handling election mail, and many of the 600,000 employees never received training and have no awareness of what those rules even are. Now, they also note that in many states, local election officials are receiving timely postmarked ballots well after Election Day, which would disqualify them. They also note that ballots continue to get returned to the post office in large numbers as, quote, undeliverable, even though the residents at that address have not moved. So that is disastrous and very, very concerning if you care about democracy, if you care about, elections being able to be decided fairly and everyone getting their chance to vote who actually voted. So now, Republicans, as I mentioned, they put in strict new rules that must be complied with on the timeliness of ballots being received and counted. If the ballots are late due to the post office not delivering them in time or losing them, well, you know what's going to happen to the ballots. They're going to get tossed out. Those votes are not going to count.
Here we are. Public service announcement. Vote.org. Vote.org. Okay? Find out how you can get your ballot today, not tomorrow. Well, it's 10:30. How you can get your ballot tonight and then get it tomorrow. Vote early. In Georgia, October 15th is the date for early voting. go to sos.ga.gov. Wait a minute. Let me just make sure. Here. Real quick, I'm going to make sure for you. This is just for Georgia. If you're in Georgia and you're watching this, early voting starts October 15th, but there are rules, and you have to go to certain places or whatever it is. If you want to find out exactly how to do that, I'm going to play a little something for you, just the end of it, so that you can actually see for yourself. And then we got the good news. People, find out. The point is find out. Vote early. If you're mailing it in, don't wait until November to mail it in. Don't even wait until October 20th or the 15th if you can get it before then. All right? They're playing games.
Hey, my name is Donald Trump.
Here we go.
That's not what.
Here we go.
Georgia early voting starts October 15th. Visit sos.ga.gov.
There you go. sos.ga.gov. That's what you do. If you don't know what to do, vote.org, right? Vote.org has stuff for every single state. Let's do this, guys. They're going to do everything they can because there's not enough makeup or lipstick for the pig of a party that they've become. There's just enough disgruntled and unintelligent and undereducated people that will continue to prop them up. But they know they can't win if we vote. So it's our job. We got good news. That's good news. What else do we have, Laura, before we leave?
Oh, well, we've had a whole bunch of endorsements as well as letters of support, or I guess anti-Trump letters from former staff members, former Republicans. So, there's been a whole lot of that going on.
I love it.
Let's see, they had
Wait, so I think
the Teamsters, that they were saying that there was the Teamsters haven't given their endorsement, but they didn't endorse anyone. That was just out of 2,100 people that the Teamsters International polled.
Mm-hmm.
That does not represent the rest of the Teamsters or even how they would vote. So
I think they said
a lot
that
of
they
the
have over like 6 million or some crazy.
yeah, well, all the local chapters said Wednesday night in the Teamsters Against Trump movement said, "How do you spell momentum?" Anyway, in the last 8 hours, joint councils representing nearly 500,000 Teamsters endorsed Harris. By midday Thursday, the union uprising had gone national, with Harris' campaign announcing that she had, in barely a day, gained the backing of regional joint councils and local unions representing roughly 1 million Teamsters. So that guy doesn't matter with his 2,100 samples.
Yeah.
Oh, here it was. The more than 100 former staffers and national security leaders from past Republican administrations endorsed Kamala on Wednesday, adding to a growing list coming out against them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Gotta love that. See?
And of course, last night, the big deal was Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, yes.
With her Unite America, Unite.
As people were walking out of the Donald Trump rally because he was boring them to death again, right? Shining his orange light into their diseased eyes, because at least 6 people left that event and went straight to the hospital with some mysterious unknown disease that affected their eyes and their sight and had sickness. Yeah, this is real, people. We're not joking.
I just saw that right before we came on. Yeah, I want to find out more about that.
Yeah, so we got more to do this weekend. But as that was happening, Kamala Harris was doing another event with Oprah Winfrey and all the celebrities. They're losing it, people. That's why they're going so hard. That's why they're voting for Mark Robinson. That's why they need a buffoon in office. Because the only thing left to get their terrible policies across is to dupe and fool just enough people with just enough celebrity and ridiculous hate. And they figure they'll just steal the rest. Ha! But now even the Republicans are moving over. What else we got?
Well, and then she did 2 events today.
Ooh.
Where
one in
were
Georgia.
they? Yeah, Georgia, and then she went to, was it Wisconsin or Michigan? I'm all confused because she's been busy. She's busier than...
she's not playing golf? I thought that when people are campaigning, they play golf.
But she's not doing interviews. Bruce, she's not doing any sit-down interviews, answering the hard questions.
Oh, that's what I heard. But she's been busy. Huh.
Yeah.
Let's see how that works out for her.
Actually, they said this is his least active campaign out of the 3. By this time, the first time he ran, he'd done something like 18 events in this time period. And then in 2020, he'd have done 16 or so. And this year, he's done 7.
Oh, my God. Because he's not trying to win. He knows he can steal it. That's what he believes.
Yeah. He's counting on those refusing to count.
What I want to know before we leave, Laura, is swing states. Let's give the people some good news to leave on.
Let's see. Was she within?
While she's looking for that, people, if you see my all-new professional-looking little merch thing down there, everything you see down there is for sale on Teespring, as well as you can get it right on this channel. It should be somewhere where you can click on it in the comment section or something like that. You guys could see it. We got sweatshirts. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. Don't stay cold. Get you one of these shirts, one of these Project 2025 hoodies. Get you a cup. I mean, you cannot drink daddy's juice.
Or mommy's or
mommy's juice.
Aunties.
Without a political drain cup, people. Help support this channel. We try to give you the reality of the news, the context of the news, not just the both sidesism that you get. Showing up, everybody who's here. All right, give me those swing states.
All right, well, as of 3 hours ago, Newsweek says swing states will determine the nation's next president, shows Vice President Harris and former Donald Trump not as closely matched in these battleground states as some aggregate polls indicate. Trump. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have had this ready, but she's in North Carolina. It's the second tightest race, according to the online betting platform. Oh, my goodness.
He said, oh, yeah, that's the same one Trump was trying to use until they stopped working for him.
With Trump leading by 10 points, 55%. Oh, gosh. Anyhow, she's within margin on all those swing states. Aggregate polls find the race much closer, with Harris taking a lead of around 1.2 percentage points to 3 percentage points, but none near the 30 percentage point lead predicted on Polymarket.
Okay. So
Harris is barely above Trump at 51% to 49%.
Okay. Oh, so she's above him. I know that there was some other reporting, but this is brand new, so I'll go with that. There was some reporting that in Pennsylvania and other places, she finally was over the what is that? The error percentage.
Yeah.
So
Nate Silver's forecast shows Harris's favorite for first time in 3 weeks. Yeah. Yeah.
People, go ahead.
No, go on.
People, we got good news. She's gaining every day. We keep putting the good news out like the gospel. That's what the good news is. That's what gospel means, if you don't know that, for a little church lesson. Gospel means good news. We're putting out the gospel right here on Thank Ganja It's Friday. We're giving you the good news. We're giving you the truth. The truth shall set you free. If you know somebody who may be convinced that maybe they too have been duped by the orange orangutan. Maybe they were swept up in the tangerine tornado himself. Maybe they were doing just bad enough to want to find the scapegoat given to them by the lipsticked pig party. And now maybe have opened their eyes to seeing that that's not the case. Send them this. Send them our videos. Give them the gospel. Give them the good news. They don't have to stay that way. And if you're blue and you're thinking maybe that she's got this and you don't have to vote, think again. If you're thinking you're going to send in your ballot but just do it a little bit late, think again. We got work to do. This weekend, we got a lot of stuff coming out at you. There's a bunch of stories that we couldn't get on here because I wanted to make sure we were just under an hour and 15 minutes. I wanted to be an hour, but I had to go in a little bit. I mean, Mark Robinson said he wanted to own slaves. Can you blame me? What do you want me to do? Just gloss over that? We love you guys, man. We love you. You heard the good news. She's gaining. Republicans are seeing the light. The hypnosis is gone. Big name Republicans are all saying we cannot have this guy. After that debate, people are seeing the light. Let's keep pushing forward. Vote.org. Get your information. See what you have to do. That's it. Oh yeah. What? Like, subscribe, help us out. Leave a comment. All that good stuff. Oh, join.
Please leave comments. Join us.
What do we have?
Members
if they
get
join,
all
Laura?
kinds of perks. If you joins us, you get the special emojis and you get the discounts on the merch and all that stuff, and you get access to our members only streams backstage and all that good stuff.
Awesome.
You know what to do.
Awesome. And
hit that bell.
I plan on having a members only stream very soon, actually, because it's going to be an interview as usual, and you guys are going to want to see it. Guaranteed. All right, guys. Anything else?
Thanks, Gloria. Thanks, Macaroni. Thanks, Sonia, and anyone I missed? Maya, Benny. Thank you all for coming. Hey, and speaking of Benny, let's drop the link for the 21st Century Suffragettes.
Yes, drop that link.
You can catch them live. And shout out to TV2. He's been streaming a lot of the Harris Waltz rallies and stuff. There's so much going on that we haven't always been able to cover. So thanks TV2 for that. Let me get his link too.
All right, while she's dropping those links, guys, we love you, man. Send this stuff to a friend. And if it's not us, send something to them. Every single day, we have to have our mouth open. We have to be telling people about the good news. Call me an evangelist, okay? We have to be telling people about the good news. We have to be telling people that inflation is bad, but it's the best in the world thanks to democratic policies. We have to be telling people that no one likes crime, but our crime rate has lowered immensely since Trump has been in office thanks to democratic policies. We have to tell people that Mark Robinson is an absolute fascist, racist, even though he's black. So the people who thought that he was bad but voted for him anyway because he was against abortion, ask them again, which one were they voting for? What side are they really on? What was the evil that they ignored? Tell them that. Remind them that. I don't think any of these people wanted to be evil. They just found the exact excuse they needed to dismiss it. And now it's front and center. Put it in their face. Let them know. Let the people who you know or think like you that they can't wait because of the mail system is screwed up. We've got to vote early. And if you're mailing it in, mail it in early. We love you guys. Peace.
Peace, TGIF. Have a great weekend. Good night.